All right, guys, so how's it going? Hope you're good. Here we go again. More Alexander Isak stuff coming out from the journalists in the Northeast. Someone said yesterday to me, why so many videos about Alexander Isak? Well, why do you think? We review what's been claimed by the journalists in relation to Alexander Isak. So when they publish an article, guess what? We take a look at it. And it's not the Liverpool journalists that are doing it. It's all from the Northeast all of the time. So this one is Craig Hope, chief football reporter, I'll have you know, at the Daily Mail. And we're going to take a look at his latest thoughts, his latest claims, his latest opinion with regards to Alexander Isak. Now, before we get into that, I personally think that we're going to see something positive regarding Isak from the Liverpool side of things. People like Paul Joyce. So I'm waiting for him to pop up at some point. Maybe David Ornstein, but it'll certainly be one of those two. So that's where I am with it myself. I still think that we will do a deal for him. And like I say, I think we're going to see something a little bit positive or encouraging soon, but that, of course, is just personal opinion. So we're going to take a look at this article. Newcastle have a £55 million bid for Premier League striker rejected in capital letters after he scored twice in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night. It says it was published last night and updated again in the early hours of this morning. And it is, of course, relevant or linked to the Isak situation. Now, I'm not going to read the article out to you. You can go and do that if you wish. But I will tell you the key points from the article. Wolves have rejected a second bid of £55 million from Newcastle for Jørgen Strand Larsen. The bid was submitted Tuesday evening as the player scored twice in a 3-2 Carabao Cup win versus West Ham. Wolves had already rejected a previous £50 million bid from Newcastle the day before. A third bid is considered likely, but Newcastle will not exceed a certain valuation. All right, so it's all right for them to not exceed a certain valuation, but if we don't want to exceed one, we're the bad guys. All right, just pay the money, Newcastle. Wolves signed Strand Larsen for £23 million from Celta Vigo this summer. The player is understood to be keen on the move to Newcastle. Eddie Howe and recruitment team are said to admire him. Well, that helps if you're trying to sign him. Newcastle's need for a striker has increased after Anthony Gordon's red card versus Liverpool. Gordon had been playing as a makeshift striker. His suspensions will be 3 games. A deal for Wissa is still alive, according to Hope, but progress has stalled for over 3 weeks. Talks continued on Tuesday. Brentford are considering replacements, including Max Bayer, I think that is, at Dortmund. Newcastle's pursuit of Strand Larsen and Wissa is cited as giving Liverpool hope that a renewed move for Alexander Isak could become possible. Then it talks about that delegation the other night going to, Isak at his house before the Liverpool game. Those talks were to persuade him to return to the squad. Hope writes the attempts were, quote, thought to be met with continued resistance. He also writes that Isak is, quote, determined to force a move to Anfield. Newcastle now have 2 options, according to the article: keep Isak and hope for a change of heart after the 1st of September, which I don't think there will be one, or negotiate a British record deal with Liverpool before the deadline. It stated that Strand Larsen and Wissa were initially considered replacements for Callum Wilson, not Isak. However, if both deals progress simultaneously, Newcastle would face a decision on how to proceed in the best interests of the club. And the article ends with, there is a feeling among some close to the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. And that's an interesting suggestion, I think. So let's take a look at the whole thing, a breakdown, if you like, the shift in tone. The language around Isak is getting more final, beyond repair, continued resistance, determined to force a move. No contradictions in the article from Hope. He's not like, what's the other one? Luke Edwards, who's got he's all over the place flip-flopping, isn't he? Hope he's changed his tune, that is for sure. But in this one, compared to recent commentary, if you like, no contradiction. But a new note of finality compared to prior Hope pieces, which kept the door slightly ajar for reintegration. Still propaganda adjacent, if you like. Hope writes Newcastle's hands are tied, have to sell Wilson, replacements first, yet continues to remind readers that Isak is on strike and resisting. No blame on Newcastle's board for failed negotiations for Wissa, Strand Larsen. All roads lead back to Isak being difficult. No explicit mention of Liverpool increasing or submitting a new bid. That remains speculative, though Hope assumes they could if Newcastle line up deals. There will be another bid from Liverpool, in my opinion. The line gives Liverpool hope stands out. It's the only moment Liverpool is mentioned proactively in the article. And just a little bit of important clarity in this article. It doesn't claim a transfer fee agreement is close or that personal terms have been discussed or anything like that, but obviously Liverpool know the situation with personal terms. You don't go for a player unless you know all that first. What would be the point of spending weeks, if not months even, trying to sign a player and then sitting down to discuss personal terms, then going, oh, fuck that, we're not giving him that. So that's what always makes me laugh with the ITKs, the Twitter twats, when they say personal terms agreed, when they're edging, when the no deal's closed, because those things have already been ironed out behind the scenes. So basically, the bit I want to highlight here for you, and it is a change in Hope's style, if you like, and certainly from the journalists in the Northeast, is the article where it ends with, there is a feeling among some close to the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. And don't forget, previously, it was all about reintegration, saying sorry. You can still come back from this, which I'd never thought could happen, to be honest with you. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave that with you. If you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. If you want to support my channel, there's a love heart of the video. It's called a super thanks. It's like buying me a beer or a coffee. I always give a shout out to people that do that in my morning briefing. I haven't done my morning briefing today yet. I'll record that soon and put that on my other channel, the Duncan Oldham channel. The link to that channel is in the video description, and it will also pop up on the screen as well. So yeah, that's the first Isak update of the day. I suspect we will be coming back with more later. Trust me, I don't want to make dozens of videos about Isak. I'd rather have a nice chilled day at home. I just sit down and I think, right, that's it. I can chill for a bit, and then something else comes out. Luke Edwards, I'm sure, will be spouting at some point today. But I will end by saying this, guys. I remain positive about the situation. It is the Newcastle journals that are churning content out all the time. I do think that we are going to see something from Liverpool soon, and it will be Joyce or Ornstein. I think it'll be positive. But if it's not positive, then that's a bit of like Liverpool applying pressure or whatever. But let's worry about that when we see something. So if I was you, I'd keep your notifications turned on. And don't forget, on this channel, well, every channel on YouTube, YouTube only sends out a maximum of 3 notifications, I believe, in 24 hours for new content. So if you've got notifications turned on, you're only going to get 3. So you must manually check the channel, because sometimes I put things on here and there's a little box that says push to subscriptions feed and notify people you publish content. But sometimes I leave that unticked if it's not a really interesting video, maybe. I did a short this morning from the cafe, and I didn't send that out because I don't want to waste a notification. So get in the habit of checking the channel throughout the day manually by clicking on the username if you like the content here. All right, guys, so nice peaceful morning at the moment. Let's see how we're feeling this afternoon, see if we're a bit stressed or whatnot. All right, man. Cheers, guys. Thumbs up, comment, and I'll speak to you in a bit.